go. If you read the title, I'm not happy. Alright. This is going to be a long one. Goods, bads, negatives, so much stuff, but thankfully it isn't a review. Here's the thing. First, I have to start off with the fact I have to, as much as I'd like to just showcase it, I'm not going to. Because that would require more effort than I'm willing to give them. All I will say this is, screw apps here. The port bastards. Not port bastards, who decided instead of learning or doing better or doing our jobs worth a damn, they decided just to release Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2 onto the Switch in such a dog shit show state that it actually has now claimed the #1 most crashy game I've played on any system ever. And yes, that does include Skyrim. That includes Cyberpunk 2077. That includes No Man's Sky. None of those games have ever crashed half as much as this game has been. Just within the span of a singular day, it crashed more than 12 times straight. I was saving every hour and found out that's not enough. I have to save every half an hour if I want to not lose progress over and over and over. That's not counting game breaking problems. That's not counting none of that crap. That's not counting the massive game breaking bug I was getting hit with at first, where my opponent became completely immortal to all but Force Lightning. Couldn't do any damage at all. Had no effect at all. And this was at, I think the first 4 or 6 hours. I can't remember which anymore off the top of my head. No, sorry, 8 hours. I remember now, because after the drop of losing 2 hours, it was ridiculous. So I started saving every hour, and still wasn't that enough. But anyways, so yeah, I digress. It completely sucked. I basically was forced to make a choice. I either don't get to finish this game, or I utilize the game's ingrained cheat system, allowing me to basically jack my level up. I did. Just to be able to complete the fight, I had to jump from level 12 or 14, I can't remember which anymore. And I had to jump to level 40. No, really. I had to jump to level 40, and even with me jumped to level 40, I still very easily could have struggled in that fight. If I had stopped using Force Lightning for more than once, I would have been screwed and had to have reloaded all over again. That's literally how this game is. I don't like that part. That part actually ridiculously pissed me off and annoyed me and disgusted me and frustrated me. But I had no choice. I kept trying it over and over. I had so many different force abilities, and I tried all of them, and only lightning was doing anything worth a damn. Not good, not even enough to give me a win either. And even though I was going the dual wielding route, I couldn't really do any damage, even though I had made it so I had the maximum amount of feats, so this way I should be able to do close combat. I should have been able to do that, and should have been able to do a decent job, but all my attacks were 24/7 misses, even with a plus 29 and, was it 26? Something like that. But I couldn't do anything. So yeah, And like I said, I went through every single force power. I went through grenades. I went through basic attack. I went through the forms that you could use. I did every single thing I possibly could. I had tried every option, and the only thing that had any result at all was Force Lightning spam. Nothing else. There was literally nothing else. So yeah, my experience has been me beating my head against the wall a lot. And I do mean a lot. And it has sucked. It was just it was just terrible. Absers should be ashamed, disgusted, and they shouldn't have a job. You failed your job. But what's more is it's not enough to fail at once. Apparently, you're now known for shitty ports. That's literally when I went looking for you guys. That's the first shit I saw. Alright, that was the first row of things I saw, is how you guys are a failure of a port company who fucks up like this all the damn time. How fucking stupid are you? It's not hard to figure out where you're fucking up. It's obvious and ham-fisted and is damn near pumping you from both ends spit roast style. And you're telling me you're too stupid to figure out what the problem is? I call bullshit. I think Abster's too fucking lazy, like their dog shit dog lord, the one who leads the stupid bitch, which is that of EA. How do I know this? Because this is exactly what EA would do. They would be lazy. And they would at first expect a full price, only for someone else to finally bitch slap them and say, "Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no! Drop your damn prices, boy!" And this is a case of that, because right now the bundle of the two games is $30. But the sucky part is Abster did such a shit job here that I want my money back. But I know I'm not going to get my money back. Which sucks. And it's frustrating. And annoying. Okay. I need to switch from the negatives to now talking about the future. Granted, when you don't face your past, you don't learn from your past fuck-ups, you are basically doomed to repeat that shit. And I will guarantee you every money I will ever make to the day I die, they will continue to make this fuck-up. They are one of EA's pets for a reason. It's because they're lazy and don't want to do anything. They just want to make money blindly and think you should applaud them and pay them out the ass for the pleasure of these fucked up excuses. Okay. Gotta need to talk future, otherwise I'm gonna get worse off than I am now. Here we go. Knights of the Old Republic 3. Could it be good? Not likely. Maybe. Not likely, though. Here's the thing. Is that because of concept? No. Is that because of a lack of single-player game players? No. God, no. Is that because of the Star Wars fan base? No. No. God, no. When it comes down to it, the real reason why a Star Wars of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 3 wouldn't work and wouldn't succeed now is simply because EA and Asper would probably be the only ones leading that project, and because it's the two laziest sacks of shit you can imagine, it's not going to be a good game. It's not going to be a well done game. It's not going to be a finished game. It's not going to even be a game worth even acknowledging. It's going to be a game that is designed to be free to play, but is charged to you at the front. Guaranteed. Why? That's how EA operates. And before anyone starts bringing up, but King, what about that last Star Wars game not long ago? That was pretty good. The problem is, though, while yes, it was pretty good, the problem is it was done for the sake of trying to calm everyone else, so this way they ignore what they do later. It's a terrible, terrible tactic that EA has done in the past. It is a tactic they will continue to do in the future, especially so long as morons keep buying their shit. Okay? Look, I get you want to believe that you maybe won out and that maybe things will get better. No, it's not going to get better. What are you talking about? Are you drunk? Are you high? Get some help. That's not how it's going to work, people. The facts are the only reason they released that game that way with a single player focus and no hardcore microtransactions and loot boxes is simple. To wait out the storm. To get you people to drop it. So that this way you people will ignore what's going to come again. That's how this will work. Why do you think EA made this after making it adamantly clear their ardent support for their own dog shit horrible tactics? It's not hard. It doesn't require much brain cells on your part at all to figure out what their goal is, why they're doing it, and why they'll sporadically do it in the future. It's because they know morons will just forgive and forget so easy when it comes to this crap. They know, so long as they make one game that doesn't have this crap, you idiots are going to give this a thumbs up and say everything's okay, go back to being greedy scumbags. They're going to go back to treat us like trash and bending over. EA knows this. I know this. The world has figured this shit out already. Alright? That so long as EA puts out a game that somewhat kind of has at least a little effort into it, that has just enough to appease you, you will forget everything. You will pretend like the horrible bastardization that is Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. They know you will forget all about that. You will forgive it. You will pretend it never happened. All because they know this, they'll do this. It'll get you off their ass, so that this way they can go back to doing scummy tactics. This isn't new. It's not news. It's nothing they haven't done countless times before. It's something they will continue to do. They will always use this tactic because they know stupid people will just pretend nothing happened. That's the real reason a Knights of the Old Republic 3, if made, wouldn't do well. Because honestly, it would be one of the games where EA decides, okay, time to crank back those loot boxes and let's start dialing back in this greedy tactic. Let's do this horrible thing. Let's add this social experiment now. See if we can get away with this shit in the future. That's exactly how EA will do it. Beyond a doubt. Anyone who ever thinks that EA has improved enough or changed enough to no longer do these horrible, horrible tactics, you don't know EA. You don't know business. You don't know corporations, and you're kind of an idiot. Or you're just too idealistic for the real world to handle. The real world says this. They are going to do these greedy tactics again. It is only a matter of time. They will make a couple of games in an attempt to appease, and then they will go right back to what they were doing beforehand. Guaranteed. It's something they've always done, always will do. And it isn't coming from a mindset of people don't change. It's that corporations don't really change. Not truly. Sure, there's mom and pop joints, but that doesn't stop what I just said from being true, though. When it comes to big corporations, they don't change. Period. They don't. The only way a big corporation changes is one of two ways. Either A, the CEO, aka the person who's at the top of the food chain, is replaced by someone, or B, and mind you, even then, that doesn't always change things for better or worse. It's just, yay, new guy in charge, whatever. But the big kicker here is the only real way to enact any change with a big name business is simple. Target the money. I don't have my wide on me right now, so I can't give you the extra visual aid. So, yeah. When it comes down to it, if you don't target their money, a big name, big business corporation is never going to change a damn thing. Oh, hell no. They will never change at all. What they'll do is they'll pretend like they've changed for a little bit, then go back to exactly what they were doing. That's how they work. That's how they operate. They will give you a little thing to try and get you to forget everything else they've done, or get your attention away from it, or to calm you down, or to placate you. And then the moment you do any of that, dun dun, bend over and take it. You are now their sock puppet again. And you let yourself become their sock puppet again. Why? Am I speaking any of this from a place of anger? No. What I am saying, this is from a place of frustration, exhaust, especially the mental kind, and from a sense of, I'm not going to say annoyance, that wouldn't be quite the right word. More like fed upness? Sure, fed upness. When it comes down to it, honestly, your wallet has countless amounts of power. It is honestly the most powerful, effective, efficient, destructive, most change-enacting thing you got, so long as it's with you. The moment it's given to them, it loses all that power, because they already have your money. Simple as that. Once they have your money, they don't care if you don't like the game, because honestly, they have what they give a crap about. That's exactly how EA is. EA doesn't care about their developers. They don't care about any of the companies they own. They don't care about their employees. They don't care about their business's bottom or top line. They don't care about you. They don't care about their games. They don't care about their franchises. They care about none of this. The only thing they give an F about is, do we have their money? Yes or no? That's it. That's the entirety of it. That's all they ever care about. All they ever will care about. And here's the thing, from a business perspective, that isn't inherently wrong, but with a caveat of, now I'm not a business major, but business performed in a way that pisses everyone off and makes it so your entire freaking finances are on a countdown, to me is bad business. When you cannot easily and confidently say, I will be continuing to do business no matter what may happen, when you can't say that with confidence, you're doing bad business. And honestly, EA is bad business. EA as a whole is bad business incarnate. Why? Because the only reason they have money, only reason they make money is because of two things working in tandem. One, the number of things, overall games, developers that they own. Yeah. Violently. That is EA. Where the only reason they're actually still in business at all is because of how much they have turned countless games and game developers into their violent sex puppets that they can fist and violate as much as they want. Two, the whales. Honestly, yes, the whales are tied for the next biggest problem for why EA gets away with this, why EA makes as much money as they do, or makes any money at all. The facts are, is whales don't want to make games good. They don't even like really good games, I have to assume. Or at least they're more entertained and enjoying the ruining good games, I assume. I haven't talked to a whale about why they think this is such a good idea, or how this is such something so good for gaming when it isn't, because it isn't. But I digress. When it comes down to it, honestly, it's a poor idea to just dump money in mass, because you shouldn't have to for anything. It should always be something optional, but there are tons of games where their idea of optional is, let's fuck over the player as hard, aggressively, with no lube as we can, within legal means, and force them to buy our shit. Don't believe me? Let's look at EA's loot box, aka their gambling, that they pump in everything they can. Look, you want to tell me you want to add some way to make it easier for players who don't play 24/7 to win? Make it easier for them? Alright, I can almost work with that, except for the fact that EA takes it to an exaggerated, horrible, god-awful, criminal extreme. They make it so that the only way you can actually succeed in their games consistently and do well is if you have tons of money to burn and love gambling. If you're not a gambling addict and you actually have some semblance of self-respect and you broke on top of that, well, guess what? Like me, you'll have to try and compensate through effort. But the problem is, though, is that EA designs their games intentionally to, honest to God, punish you for doing that, for putting in effort. That's the thing EA does, 24/7. Sure, I can bring up other games to act as examples of how this is bad, but honestly, I don't want to waste my breath. When it comes down to it, a KOTOR 3, one, I doubt is going to ever happen, honestly. With how old these games are, I don't see any developers jumping at the bit to start making a game. Especially when you consider the fact that, honestly, they would have to find a way to work alongside EA. Which I don't know about you people, but I have way too much self-respect to the point where I would sooner work with a dead, lame turtle. Alright? I would rather freaking work with a stinking turtle that's too busy effing to pay attention to anything. I would rather work alone on an indie project before working with EA. Honestly, EA is such trash that honestly I can't imagine why people ever think, yeah, let's go there. Let's become a developer there. Let's become a producer there. Why? Do you hate yourself that much? And if so, if you hate yourself that much, why not go do anything else? Like legitimate anything else? No, I get that for some people it's because it's a big company. They think they'll get tons of opportunity to either do tons of good or make a ton of good games. That's not true. You're lying to yourself. You need help. I will hug you, I swear. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You don't gotta do this. When it comes down to it, the big problem here is that that's not how EA operates. EA don't give a shit about good games. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about your own. They don't give a shit about their own. They don't give a shit about themselves. They barely even care about their own money. The fact is they only care about, did our greedy tactics work? And were we able to ass rape people's wallets? Yes or no? If no, then that game by default is a failure. Even if a game did well, doesn't matter. It's a failure in their eyes because they weren't able to continuously ass rape people's wallets. Which is why I hate EA. When it comes down to it, there is no fix here. There is none. There's no fix to make sure that Knights of the Old Republic 3 is a badass game. There's nothing we can say or do to make that happen. Unless we find some schmuck amongst us who wants to arise to the height of game developer, and then we have to make sure we all make our voices very clear to Disney. Those are our only two methods. There's no other method we have here. We have to make sure Disney knows that we're fed the fuck up. We have to make sure that Disney not only knows it, but damn well hears it. Either in the form of money or money. Because yes, Disney also cares mostly about money. Now granted, they also care far more about their brand image, which is more than we can say about EA at least. But honestly, we need to make sure it's very crystal clear to not just EA, but also to Disney itself, that we're fed up with this garbage, we're not going to take it anymore, we're done. That now there's only two options. Do it right, or you're not seeing any money. That's our only alternative. That's our only real way to save Star Wars franchise. Much like with any other franchise out there, the only way to save it is to stop giving money. That's it. There is no other saving method, and especially a method that's quick, efficient, effective, and works. The facts are is death threats don't work. Objectively, factually, limitlessly. They don't work. Spending money blindly also doesn't work. Period. It never has, never does, never will. Period. Now, like I say, we can fix this. Okay, we can fix this, but what it entails is refusing to spend money on a Star Wars game and making it very clear on why. Not disagreements, Twitter style. No, we don't need that crap. That's not going to help nobody. That's not going to help Star Wars. That's not going to help anything. Now, with that being said, if you have your own methods on how the job can be completed, awesome. Just, there's no point in attacking each other either over this crap, because then all it does is it muddles the message that we're trying to get out here. We're trying to get a message out of Star Wars has been unacceptably sucktastic for this long. That's literally it. That's the message we should be trying to get out here, that it's been too long of constant suck, so no more. That's honestly our best method. That honestly should be our first and our last method. Not starting Twitter beef with each other, not Facebook beef with each other, not TikTok beef with each other, no beef with each other. There's no point. It doesn't benefit anybody. And it sure as hell doesn't make our message any more worth an F. In fact, if anything, it actually makes our already reasonable and completely acceptable overall message and method, and muddles that thing till a point where it's a weird-ass gray off-tone color that nobody like. Get my point here? The only way we can fix this is we have to agree, one, not to cause stupid, pointless beef with each other, for one. But two, more than anything else, we have to, as a group, agree to one simple thing. That our message be something clear, something specific, something precise, and it's simply that Star Wars needs to get better. And it's not going to happen with EA. We need to make it clear we are fed up. Otherwise, nothing will improve. As agonizing as that might be for some people, that's the reality of it. The facts are is EA is not going to let Star Wars out of their grip as much as they can. They will vice grip onto that shit in death. Even in forced death, it still will latch on. Okay? You think a yandere is bad? Woo-hoo, I'd rather a yandere over EA. At least with a yandere, it's more or less direct. Rather direct over scummy. Maybe I'm in the minority on that one, I guess. Now, if by some miracle, and I don't believe it for 1 millisecond, Knights of the Old Republic 3 gets announced someday. Let's say it has, by some black magic voodoo miracle, we were able to all agree, and we were all able to do exactly what needed to be done for Star Wars, which is deny them money, and we actually got heard. If we could all do that. What's just a couple? Just a couple. That's the craziest part. The part that boggles my mind probably the most. When it comes to Star Wars of the Knights of the Old Republic 3, there is so damn much room and potential here that it's laughable it hasn't already been made yet. That's the part that's absurd. Okay? There's potential here. Raw potential here. And tons of room for growth. All it needs is for a developer to give a shit. And actually want to do a good job. That's it. It pretty much damn near writes and fixes itself. Which is absurd. When it comes down to it, there are so many different places you can expand on or tweak or improve or just gut, and it helps with certain things. Tons of stuff. Hell, there are even certain things you can just bring back from Knights of the Old Republic 1 that would help in number 2. That would help in 3. Here's the thing. First thing you could do. Minimize the backtracking. Well, how do you do that? Ironically enough, take a mechanic that was from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 that wasn't in 2. No, really. No, really. And no, I'm not talking about turbo mode. That's still there. You see, you can't actually just poof back to your ship. You know? There's no fast travel back to your ship. Which means even if you're going through an area you've already been through, you've already done all the bits that stop you from being able to go back to your ship immediately, you've already done all that, doesn't matter. You still have to basically hike your way back the whole way. Thankfully, there's turbo mode, which honestly, Knights of the Old Republic 2 actually made me use more than Knights of the Old Republic 1 by a lot. Yeah. Bring that system back. Can we not go with blinding brightness? I mean, I don't even... The crazy part is I have my brightness setting. It's not my brightness setting. I can tell you that with absolute confidence. Okay? How can I do that? Simple. I have this thing at maybe... If we're going from 0 to 100 being the max of the brightness thing, I have it maybe at like 25 at its height. No, really. 25. Yeah. And I am still getting blinded every time I open up the menu. Wow. Now, there was a good decision made in KOTOR 2 that wasn't in KOTOR 1, which is the fact that there were multiple more characters. This was a good decision. But we have to then add a caveat. When it comes down to it, there's an issue here. Which is the simple fact that, honestly, the romance parts suck and aren't very good. Pick your poison. First one where you get a smooch, and that's it, between one of your choice of three or four, I can't remember which. Pretty sure it was 3 total characters. And then KOTOR 2, where you had multiple characters, but only 4 were actually romanceable. And even then, I struggled to say 4, because one of them just rejects you 24/7, no matter what, leaving you with 3. And even then, the romances in those is actually worse than the prior game. Now it's just kind of... They automatically have the hots for you. Do you want to reciprocate that? And then, kind of like KOTOR 1, it's mostly just fade to black scenes instead of actually showing some intergalactic nookie or something. At this rate, I just want something more to that than just a hi, bye, done. And that's it. You know, it just sucks. Only real fixes, like I said, are stuff there's tons of them. We do tons. I could probably spend an hour just listing improvements, quality of life fixes, all these other countless things I could say. But I'm already having this video longer than I actually wanted to. I wanted it to cut off like at 28. We're already at 32. Yikes. And I don't think there's anything I can really do to cut down any further, so oh well. Hopefully you guys found this, I don't know, laughable? Interesting? Yeah, I know it's the same stuff and I haven't gotten around to SMAB helping me learn how to do better at this, but the very simple reasons is I've been off and on feeling like crap, and when I haven't been feeling like crap, I've been a bit busy. So, it's just the way it is. I will see you all next time. See ya.